brings you here today? Would it help if we got more comfortable? Perhaps you want to go to a more formal setting then. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. We can wait until you're ready. Would it help if I told you a little bit about myself? This might be hard to believe, but I sat in that exact seat some odd years ago myself. I was a high schooler just like you are. It was my freshman year, and after an unfortunate experience, my principal recommended I get counseling and set up an appointment between me and my school psychologist. It took me a while to open up to her, but after I did, I could not stop. She helped me through every crisis and episode I had in high school. And because of the impact she had on my life and how she was there for me, I decided I wanted to spend my life doing that for others. I don't know that I'd be here today, both in this room or even alive, if not for all that she did for me, and that inspires me to be a light for others. After high school, I kept everything she taught me and did for me near my heart, and I went on to pursue my psychology degree. I started at a four-year university in my hometown, and 2 years later, I moved to Florida and decided to get my associate's degree at Valencia College. After I graduated from Valencia's, I got my bachelor's from Bethune-Cookman, I got my master's from Clark Atlanta University, and I got my PhD from University of Pennsylvania. After my mini tour around the East Coast, I decided to move back to Florida, and now here I am. Seems like you've had a pretty perfect journey. Well, it's good to know you can talk, but my journey has been far from perfect. I can assure you that. I left high school a member of the National Honor Society with the top members of my graduating class. I had all honors classes in high school, a B+ average, and an attitude to take over the world. Instead, I went to college without the support of my family. I had no communication with my mother. I flunked my first semester, and I got kicked out of my first university and had to transfer. My second year was no better than my first. I went to school out of state in the middle of nowhere. I had no car, exactly one friend on campus, and halfway through that fall semester, I had exactly 0 friends. I was alone, depressed, overwhelmed, and completely lost. I went on to fail that semester too. By the next semester, I decided I'd try to make the best out of my situation there, and 1 month into it, we were hit with a global pandemic. I lost countless family members to the virus. I lost my job, and I was still expected to continue my journey in school. Despite all of that, I managed to pass every class but one that semester, and sadly, that wasn't enough to continue at that school. My grades were so poor that first semester that I lost my aid and couldn't afford to go back. I was ashamed and confused and scared. I decided not to give up on myself or my education. I moved to Florida with my sister and started attending Valencia. I was at my 3rd school in 3 years, and that fall semester went almost as poorly as my first 2 attempts. I had a crippling case of seasonal depression, separation anxiety, and I was coping with life in a pandemic. I had no motivation to go on. The semester ended with me on academic warning, not a shocker. By spring semester, I decided I had to get out of that school and move on with my life. I registered for 6 classes just to finish my degree journey earlier. The semester was especially hard. I continued to lose those close to me to the virus. I was far from my friends and family in a new town with almost no one. And then my younger sister was diagnosed with cancer, and I was lost. It was almost as if life and school were just not for me. I spent a few months failing all of my classes, but I just couldn't allow myself to be a failure anymore. So I started to pick up the slack all on my own and work to make something out of myself. And I did this without anyone knowing what I was going through, which I would not recommend. I spent exactly 1 year at Valencia, and I graduated with my associate's degree. From there, I decided to believe in myself faithfully, and things started to sail a lot smoother. I took a lot of struggling and losses and battling depression and faith to get me where I am today. My journey was everything but pretty, but I would be lying if I said it wasn't worth it. It made me exactly who I am today, and for that I am grateful. My story, everything I've seen and experienced, and all that I've been through has made me be able to be here for people like me, and it makes me capable of being here for you. Now that you know more about me than you probably should, would you like to tell me anything about yourself? Yes, actually. Well, really, it all started